Hey guys! Okay, we have some really big news. What is it?
We are moving to Seoul next week.
Next week. So we said in a video before that we're planning on moving to Seoul, and it is actually happening now. How exciting!
Yeah, really excited. Really excited.
Yeah. We've been in the countryside, the Korean countryside, for
More than 2 years.
More than 2 years. I think we've done our time here.
Yes. Yes, we did.
So those that follow the social media would have already seen this announcement, but we're moving to Hapjeong. And what type of place is Hapjeong in Seoul?
Hapjeong is a really good place. It's nearly close to Hongdae area.
Yeah.
And even Sinchon and Itaewon is not really far from there. And also there's a YG building and you know it's really convenient, really nice. And two subway line is there. Line 2 and line 6.
Yeah, so it's a really cool area. I didn't think we would be able to move here, but we are, and I'm just waiting for people to be like, oh my god, she's moving near YG because she's like YG bias. It just happened like this, I swear. And we're actually like literally just right around the corner from YG boss's house.
Yeah.
So our real estate agent like drove us past, she's like, this is where YG boss lives, and it's this big building like this and there's security.
Yeah.
So it was not planned to move to this area. It was actually like just weird circumstance that we ended up with this place, right?
Yeah. We went to the coffee shop in Hapjeong area and I met the guy who is barista there. He's actually learned how to make coffee in Australia, so I want to try that one. And then we went there and we just talk about, you know, like we are looking for a place and blah blah blah. And one girl just came to us. I know really good real estate. Do you want a try? And sure. And I got the number. These real estate people are really really nice.
Yeah.
And they show us like 3 or 4 different places. But this one is a really good place, which is like it's not really big area, but you know the structure of the house
is what we wanted.
Really good. So we really like it. So we signed the contract. And later on, we went to the coffee shop again, and I asked the owner, "Where is that girl?" And he said she's a singer. Yeah,
she was a singer-songwriter. So it wasn't like just
she was also on K-pop star.
Yeah, so she's a little bit famous as well. So it was just like, what a nice girl. Like she heard us talking about it and is like, I know this really good real estate. And yeah, the real estate was so nice, and they showed us places that weren't online.
Yeah.
Because before we were looking at places, like looking on the app and everything, and there's a lot of places we didn't really like. Because we don't have lots of money, but we're really happy with the place that we picked. Now in Korea, it's technically not called an apartment. This is called a villa.
Yeah, villa or mansion or 다세대 주택.
This is so confusing for me in Korea because in Australia, apartment can just mean anything that's not sort of like a house, like a sort of interchangeable apartment unit. But in Korea, it's like, this is what an apartment is, and it has to be like this, and it has to have a balcony like this, and this is an office tel, and this is a villa, and this is a mansion, and this is... it's so confusing. The other thing that's really different in Korea is that you have to have a massive deposit. So we have the lower range for a deposit. We managed to get a good deal. So our deposit is about $10,000 US.
Yeah, about $10,000.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot. Actually, it's lower.
In Korea, that's a low. Like people like $50,000, $100,000. It's very bizarre if you haven't lived in Korea. But I have to say, as an Australian, the rent is so much cheaper. I know other people will like look at Seoul rent and go, oh my god, that's so expensive. But for me, like we lived in Sydney. So the cost of our rent in Seoul, if you took that to Sydney, you would get a share room in a share apartment.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even get like your own room in an apartment. You would get a share room, and that's just amazing, the difference to me. And it also makes me laugh when people are like, oh, but Australia has higher standard of living, why don't you move back there? And I'm like, Korea's pretty good if you're used to like Sydney rental market. I'm so excited. Because the other thing is, this is our first ever apartment or place that is just ours, right? In Sydney, we had to share an apartment. We lived with my parents, we lived with your parents. Now, finally, in our lives, we have our own place and it's just us, and we can come home and just be naked, and it doesn't matter, and there's gonna be no parents and no like housemates or anything like that.
But I was just walking around with my underwear.
I thought you were
at
going to
home.
say with something out. Yeah, because with your parents you can do that. And I don't care as much with my parents, but this is the first time that there is no housemates. All our housemates, like all my housemates that I've shared with, have sucked except for Charlotte and June.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else, I hate you.
They might watch this.
Wait, who else is there?
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember.
Actually, there are so many reasons that we are moving to Seoul. Not because we do many things in Seoul or we going to see our friends or whatever. What we do in Seoul has more opportunities.
Yeah.
And I'm in countryside at the moment, but every weekend, I go to Seoul.
Yeah.
So I spend so much money for like transportation and accommodation. So which is better to move to Seoul. And my parents, I stay with my parents for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it's time to leave them, have a free time, like have a good time together. So I know my mom is a little bit sad because I'm moving, but I can't stay here forever.
Yeah.
So this time I decided, it was hard, but decided to move there and start. So it will be really big turning point for our life. Please support us.
Yeah, and we're going to be documenting it as well. So we want to do like weekly videos where we just sort of show the little things that we've vlogged, and we talk about what it's like to move from the countryside to Seoul, because it's going to be really difficult for us. I think there's going to be some like hurdles and some learning curves. So we'll try to document that for you guys, and you can see.
Yeah, and then you will see more people you wanna see in the video because we
yeah.
have so many friends.
All our YouTuber friends.
Yeah,
It's
YouTuber
easier
friends
now.
and all other friends that who I know, and they are really interesting people. So you guys will see more interesting stuff in Seoul.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys really like the countryside videos, but we will still be visiting here, so we can still do some things about the countryside.
Yes.
But you were telling me earlier that things in Seoul are always changing. There's always something new. In the countryside, it's just the same.
Just same. I think it's good when you are get a little bit old and stay here and in peace and really good fresh air. So it's quite nice. But when you are still young, I think it's better to change something.
Yeah.
So that's what we are going to do. Not only that reason, we are going to do other stuff in Seoul, which is really important.
In the coming year, you'll start to realize some of the reasons why we're moving to Seoul like this. So I know there were some comments of like, why would you move to the city when you live in the countryside, blah 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 blah. There's many reasons why we need to. Please support us with our move. So next Friday we are moving, so we'll try to get some work done before then, but if the videos are a bit sporadic, then that's why. I won't miss those really big trucks going by like that. Thank you, truck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so please subscribe to us because you will see our move from the countryside to Seoul and everything else that we're doing in Seoul. And check out the comics on the blog and the webtoon on LINE WEBTOON and social media. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. See you in Seoul.
See you in Seoul.
Maybe we might see you on the street.
Yeah.
At Hongdae area.
This guy's always in Hongdae.
Yeah.
Always in Hongdae.
Please say hi to me. I'm quite shy, but I'm really
and then
happy when you guys say hi.
When you were drunk and someone said, "Are you Mr. Guan from My Korean Husband?" and you're like, "No, I'm not."
Only once, because I was too drunk, and I was with Daniel.
You and Daniel are dicks.
Yeah. Sorry.